Yeah.
Good evening, everyone. We, we Asnanians are back again with our very known talk show, Coffee with. I am Ayan Jain of Class 6th.
And I am Anika Patel of Class 6 too.
We have Sushma
We have Sushma Samarth with us. Sushma ma'am is an educator and motivator. She has done her M.Tech from IIT Bombay and MBA from Indian School of Business. She runs her own company called Sushma Science Center. The center creates a platform for students where they understand the subject truly and enjoy science and maths because they have understood it. They create a place where students focus on conceptual understanding and, as a result, succeed in various Olympiads and other competitive exams. We have collectively made some questions for you, ma'am. Let's get going. In your opinion, what is the right age for children to take part in Olympiads?
Okay, good question, Anika. First of all, thank you so much for inviting us. I thank the school and the school management for inviting because I really love to talk to students. And coming to your question, Anika, uh, I think you should start as early as possible. So it could be from first standard that you could start, and there are some competitions even at that level. So yeah, maybe you could start from first standard and take it with right spirit. So purpose of competitive exams is to understand the concepts well, because it's more difficult than your school exams, the school papers and all. So better to start early and prepare in a right spirit in a disciplined way, so that you get a head start from the very beginning. Yes, over to you.
Yes, ma'am, that's great. How does the participation in Olympiads help children in the long run?
Okay, Anika, I know I was told by your teachers that you have also gotten through in many competitive exams in Olympiads. You have gone to second level and all. So you will yourself see a difference between you and some of your friends who are not doing these kind of efforts or taking such exams. So first point is that it helps you to organize yourself, become more disciplined. So that is one very important part which helps you in your 11th and 12th and later in life as well. So that is one part. Second part is that the questions are tougher, and they may be mix of 2 3 subjects or maybe 2 3 topics. So you get absolute clarity in terms of understanding the subject or the topic. So these two things will really help you in longer run. And third part is that you are practicing more than your friends or other people who are not working on it. So you will certainly have an edge over them. So these three things I think will certainly help you. You can ask the next question.
Yes, ma'am, thank you. Ma'am, do you think securing top ranks in Olympiads contribute to one's career? If yes, then up to what extent? Also, I secured a good position in SOF Olympiads in grade 5. Would it help me in getting through good colleges and universities?
Sure. Anika, first I must congratulate you that at a very young age you are doing this, and it is certainly a matter of pride for your teachers as well as your parents. So it's a great thing that you are doing, and please continue. And as far as contribution to your career goes, participating just one time or two times in Olympiads may not help, because the certificates that you receive are important, but they may not always be considered and given some weightage. But you're consistently appearing in such competitive exams, trying to improve yourself, does two purpose. One is that you become confident about yourself, and second is that your track records become very very strong. So certainly when you show these kind of medals and maybe certificates that you receive for such competitive exams, the people who are interviewing you for jobs or maybe other colleges, they will certainly give lot of weightage to that while they are comparing you versus some other candidates there. So it is certainly useful to do that. Yes.
Moving on to the next question. Keeping in mind your experience, what books would you like to suggest students for preparation of Olympiads? Will our school textbook suffice?
Okay, so Anika, I think, and all other students who are listening and parents also, because I have seen lot of people asking this question. So it's a great question, and I think your textbook is very important. So you need to understand all the concepts of your textbook, but that just textbook may not suffice. So typically, what I have seen is that every year you need to do 2 plus. So if you are in 6th grade now, you should try to work on 2 plus grades. That means 7th and 8th books you should try to cover. So once you finish your school textbook from 6th grade, you should try reading and trying to understand 7th and 8th grade books. That is first thing. Second thing is, there are some very good books which are there in the market. We usually recommend the books by S. Chand publication. So S. Chand publication, they have ICSC as well as CBSE books. So you could refer to them because they have given nice diagrams, they have given nice pictures which help you understand. And they have also given some experiments which you can try to relate and understand that concept better. Then even Pearson publication is good. Along with that, if you're focusing specifically on competitive exams like Olympiads, which are by the SOF World, that kind of Olympiad, their workbook, as well as they have some textbook which gives the theory, that would also help you. Now if you come to some other Olympiads which are government Olympiads, then you might have to do a little bit more than what you do for other Olympiads, and there's a big list of books. You could reach out, the people who are interested could reach out to the school, and they in turn could ask us, and we will certainly help you out, because it depends on the grade which in which you are in. So for 11th and 12th, I'm not getting into there, but there are a lot of good books that you need to certainly refer to. But up to 6 to from 6 to 10th, you can refer to your textbook. If you're state board school, you should refer to CBSE as well, and you could refer to S. Chand and Pearson publication. Yeah, that's what we recommend. Yes.
Sure, ma'am. As it is seen, children have more time in hand when they are in junior school. But after reaching middle school or high school, the load increases. So, how can students maintain a balance between academics and Olympiads?
Sure. So I don't think the load increases later. Only point is that those students who have been preparing from very beginning, like at your age or maybe even earlier than that, they get the understanding of how to organize. So whatever amount of work is there, they try to organize. So these kind of students will not find too much of load when they are in 11th or 10th or like that. They can manage the competitive exams as well as their boards or school preparation. So important point, and I'm very happy that school has arranged this session for all of you, is that you should start from the beginning, that means as early as possible, first grade, second grade or all. And you should start knowing, along with how to study and what to study, you should also know how to organize, and in a disciplined way, how do you study. So what is your study time, what are you doing, how many problems you are solving. So if all these things are learned in the very beginning, then I don't think you will have load later. So when you are small, you think you have more time because you might not be doing all such things. But this is the time to get used to a good amount of work, disciplined way of working and organizing yourself. Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, what tips would you like to give to our students who aim at scoring top ranks in Olympiads?
Sure. So, first and foremost, and you can also relate to it because you have got good grades in Olympiads. First is that you need to thoroughly work on the workbook or whatever book that is there or recommended for that particular exam, along with the textbook. So you understand the concept through the textbook. If you have any doubts, please check with your teachers, then work on that workbook. Let's say Science Olympiad has their workbook, MTG workbook. You work on that, do all the problems that they have given, and after that you also refer to books like I mentioned. You can refer to S Chand, Pearson publication, and they have a lot of they have also given lot of questions. So you try solving lots of problem. So for this, what in our center, what we recommend is that we have one test platform, which is artificial intelligence based platform. So we use that. It has lot of questions, and very beautiful questions which are interrelated. So unless you understand the topics clearly and their interrelation, you will not be able to solve these problems. So that helps you, makes you think. So I think important point for scoring very high rank is consistent and disciplined study first, then getting your concepts very clear, no mugging, and getting the concepts clear then and there itself. So don't hesitate to ask your teachers or parents. That is another thing. And the third thing is doing loads of problems. So solve as many as questions as you could. And for we use our test platform for doing that. So you could search for something, or feel free to reach out to us through school. Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. That was respite for our children. As you know, this pandemic has taken a toll on children too. Can you suggest some online competitions that children can consider?
Sure. So, first is that I must say that the teachers and the school management, everyone is taking lot of efforts to conduct the lectures and also conduct various tests and all that. So students should not think that this is an intermediate period and proper classes will start later or something. Spend full amount of time into your teaching. That is first point. And then what you could do is that, for example, SOF World, the Sushma has Apologies. I think something went wrong with my internet, but I'm back again. So, yeah, so you can appear for SOF Olympiad online exam. And then, as I was mentioning, there are a lot of test platforms which you could use if there are no other online exams being conducted this time, because the agencies which conduct exam may find it difficult to conduct and immediately arrange for different kind of exams which could be taken from homes. So yeah, I think you should continue to put in your efforts studying for competitive exams. Take SOF World online exams, and then maybe take a test series or something where they have lot of tests, online tests, etc. Yeah, you could do that.
That's great, ma'am. How do you create awareness among children and parents about such competitions?
Yeah, Anika, I must say that you and other friends of yours who have done good job in competitive exams should become the brand ambassador, right? And you should help understand your friends and all as to how it has helped you for your school studies when you also study for competitive exams. Because once you prepare for competitive exams, it is much tougher level. So your school exams become very easy for you. So that is one point. So you could speak up in assemblies, your school assemblies, or you could create some small maybe sessions for your students, friends, and even parents, and speak it up. Even school plays a very important role. So for example, you have started taking the exam because your school would have told you that such competitions exist and they will really help you. So such kind of sessions could be arranged. And if there's anything, any session from my side that needs to be arranged for parents to encourage them, very happy to do that. Yeah.
Definitely, ma'am. Thank you. What preparation strategies should high school students adopt while preparing for boards?
Okay. So I think for board preparation, there are few things that you should look into. One is that what is important is the presentation in your papers. So typically there are students, lot of students who know everything, but while answering, they will either be very, very brief. They will write one line, two line when it is expected to be maybe three line, five line, or eight line answer, or they are too long, so they write huge amount of stuff, and may not be required. So teachers, when they are checking the board papers, they don't have so much of time because they need to check lot many copies for the boards. So first point that students have to take in keep in mind is that what is the question, understand the question properly, and then write the exact point or answer the question exactly, rather than writing lot many other things which are not required or not expected. Okay, so that is first point. Then second point is that very important keywords. So there are few things which are very important that you must write for an answer. For example, in class 10th board, they ask what is the reaction between acid and bases, right? So people write everything, this is what happens, color may change, this happens, that happens. But things that they are looking for in the model answer is that they are looking for this keyword called neutralization reaction. So those things should not be missed. So important keywords that are required, they should be mentioned there. For, and the first point that I had mentioned was that they should neither be too brief or too long. So it should be just appropriate depending on how much mark question they are answering. Third point, this is during the answering of the paper. Then third important point is preparation. So from day one of getting into 10th or 12th, how they should prepare is that systematically they should plan their study time, what chapter to be finished, how much to be finished, am I preparing proper notes, and all that, that is also very important. Fourth point is that you should also create a brief revision note for you. So it could be one pager. I call it a one pager, and we mandate our students to make that one pager. It could be either a picture, it could be either a written thing. Use different colors. It make it so interesting that when you are in the exam, if you don't recollect something, you will know, okay, I had written it in red color, or I had written it in blue color, something like that. So that one pager, it could be a mind map, it could be boxes, it could be some funny doodle thing that you like, and along with that the information. So you must make that one pager so that it is handy for you to revise in the last moment. And last point is that for mathematics especially, please solve infinite number of problems, as many as you could. That will help you in your later grades in 11th and 12th, and also here in your 10th board, or whichever 12th board as well. So these are the few things that you must take care for appearing for board examinations and doing a great job there. Yes.
Yes, ma'am, that was helpful. Often it is seen that children appearing for boards start feeling jittery. So, what tips would you like to give them to handle pressure?
Okay. So, first thing I must say that now we should understand how is this pressure built. So you become jittery, and you get angry, or maybe you're little bit uncomfortable only when you have lot of pressure. So point is, we need to understand how this pressure is built, right? So if you look at pressure cooker at your homes, you must have seen how do we do. We create pressure so that the dal and rice gets cooked, right? So what do? We put a weight over there on the pressure cooker so that the gases or the water vapors don't escape, right? So we intentionally build it. So point is that if we don't put that weight, the vapors will continuously move out and there is no pressure, right? So the case is same here. If you study from day one, okay, and you are systematic and use the tips that I have given in the previous question, I don't think that pressure will build and you will not be jittery. So from day one, make your timetable, start solving problems every day. You must finish few things, do other things as well, but you must finish whatever you have targeted, and see that you have to take the exam in 10 months, 5 months, or whatever time, and then this much is the work, right? And then accordingly plan that how many hours you need to study, what all things you need to study, and then never the pressure will build, and you will be absolutely comfortable all the time during your board exam or whatever important exams that you are taking. Over to you, Anika.
Moving on to the next question. Should high school students give up on their hobbies and completely devote their time to academics? What are your views on that?
Anika, no, I don't agree to this thing that you have to completely work on only academics and studies. You need to spend time on hobbies as well. But yeah, I think you should devote completely to it. Devote does not mean that you are spending full time 24 hours. You are doing nothing but just studying. That is not at all required, and I don't think anyone can do uh, complete work for 24 hours, right? Maybe 8 hours are given for sleep, but it is not possible to do that much of efforts. Point is that you should plan for some amount of work, and that much you should accomplish. Take out some time for your breaks, spend some time on your hobbies, but the reverse shouldn't happen, that you are spending most of your time on your hobbies and then very little time on your studies. So just look at the right proportion. So if you like music, if you like painting, if you like whatever, watching TV, movies, and all, please do that. But just make a time and understand that if I finish this much, I will certainly watch for 20 minutes, 30 minutes. And it will be good if you include some kind of exercise and meditation. Maybe it is a 10 minutes meditation and maybe 10 to 15 minutes or 20 minutes of exercise, so that you should always have in your timetable. And along with that, you must have maybe 30 minutes of entertainment or hobbies that you like. If you have exams, you can say, okay, every alternate day I'm spending time on my hobbies. So certainly, even in 12th standard, which is the highest for school going kids, they also can afford to spend time on their hobbies. uh, but hobbies cannot take full time, like 3 hours a day or something like that. That will not work, but take certain breaks which are required and refreshing for you. So yeah, that's my take on it.
Yes, ma'am. Ideally, what should be the study time for high school students?
Okay, so I will answer this in two parts and two ways. First is study time. So one is that how much time and when should you study. So Anika, for students of your age, I will certainly encourage you that you go to bed early and try to get up early. So that is the best way. And whenever you get up, try to spend some half an hour, 1 hour in studying. So first 10 minutes you can write your timetable or see what you are supposed to be doing for that day, and another hour or 40 minutes you can spend time on revising or studying what you have what you are supposed to be doing, or what chapters are being taught in your school. So that is, morning hours are the best, because this is the age when you can get your body used to getting up early. Okay. But when you get into 11th and 12th and you are used to waking up late and sleeping late, then it is difficult to change your body cycle. So this is the time, because morning times is your brain is most effective. But yeah, for certain people it works differently. They are able to study very well even in the night, but try doing it in the early hours, morning hours. That is first point. And for how many hours should they study, it depends completely on people to people. There are people who study very less, but when they are studying, they are 100% concentrating on it. That time they are not thinking, okay, what is there for lunch, what is there for dinner, after this I will go and play, oh, lot of other things. So I suggest that you should put your 100% into your studies. When you are studying, when you are at play, go all out and play. And that is how you should do. So typically I would recommend that other than your school, you may need around 2 to 3 hours in the grades that you are in, like 6th to 8th. You may need an additional 2 to 3 hours. For 9th and 10th, they may need a little bit more, maybe 4 to 6 hours regularly. And for 11th and 12th, they may need around 8 to 10 hours daily, on daily basis. But for this, what you could do, if on a particular day you are not well, or you have some other thing, you have a party at home, you have a function at school, whatever it is, so if you are not able to study that particular day, please try to make it up on a weekend or a Sunday or something like that. So you should plan that my weekly work I must finish in this week itself, and not defer it for the next week. So that will really help you getting very comfortable and getting very good grades without any pressure. Yes, Anika.
Yes, you are right, ma'am. Now, ma'am, do you believe in group studies? What is your take on that?
Sure. So, I think group study is a very, very good idea. But what happens is, when you start group study, you call all your friends. So, first thing is, what should we eat? So that happens. Some time goes, and then again, you say you start discussing a particular topic, and from that topic, few other topics will start, and the discussion diverts into some other discussion which is not at all related to studies. Okay, so that will waste lot of time. But if it is mediated by someone, okay, maybe your teachers, maybe parent, if you are doing group study at home, then or maybe some of you, maybe some students say, okay, I will not let the discussion go in a general discussion topics, then it is certainly good for conceptual understanding. Even at my class, what we do is we ask students to discuss about it, now talk it out, speak up your mind, and tell what do you think about the topic that we are discussing. So it helps people understand different perspectives, and it certainly helps you. But if you get diverted, then it is not a good idea. Second point I would like to mention is that group study cannot become the full part of your study. You certainly need a self study, but small part, maybe 1 hour in a week or two, could be there, arranged sessions where you are doing a group study and later you are doing a self study and studying on your own, doing a lot of practice problems and all that. So yeah, that is what. So it is not at all bad, but it should be mediated and should serve the purpose for which you are doing this study. Over to you, Anika.
Sure, ma'am. How should children keep balance between boards and other competitive exams like IIT?
Okay, so if we are talking of class 10th grade, they may have boards and maybe NTSE exam, which is National Talent Search Examination. Yeah, in 12th board, you have, of course, all these entrance exams like JEE, IIT entrance, and you could have a NEET, which is for medical. You could have KBPY, which is Kishore Vaidyanik Protsan Yojana, which is for entry into ICERS and IISc Bangalore. So yes, you need to spend time on both, but two things happen when you are studying for these competitive exams, that board level topics completely get covered, right? So you don't have to too much worry on understanding the concepts, because the concepts required for competitive exams is far more tougher than what is required for boards, so that will be taken care of. Now all that is remaining is writing, and the practice of writing questions within that time limit. So what we do in our class and we recommend the students is that once you have understood the topics and you have done lot of competitive level problems, now you do writing of papers similar to what is there in the boards. So you may have a 30 minutes paper, just sit it and write it, if just to see whether you are able to finish writing in that much time. So closer to boards, you can write full length paper, maybe 3 hours paper. Just sit and write if you are able to do. Your hands may ache because you are not used to writing. When you are doing competitive exam problems, what is required is quickly just write. You use shortcuts and all. So boards, these shortcuts are not allowed. Okay, you have to write everything that is there, because there are step marking as well. So you should try writing, practicing the paper writing as well, closer to your exam. That will help, because you have already prepared for concepts and also that much is not required. But just writing the papers to see if you are finishing in well within time, and second is that you are writing in a way which is required and not just writing in a shortcut, some formula and all that. That will help you. Sure.
Ma'am, how do you keep your students motivated throughout their preparation?
Sure. So, Anika, I have seen that what we do is that we try to make the students understand why they are doing this. Okay. So, if you're doing because your parents want, you are doing because your teachers want, you may or may not get motivated. So, first thing is that whatever you do, you try to think And if you are not able to think, please ask your teachers, please ask your parents, why should I do this, right? So once you get absolute clarity that you are doing this because this is what you want to achieve, this is where you want to go, so once that clarity is there, demotivation will not even come closer to you. That is first point. Second point, very important point, is that if you don't understand things, concepts you don't understand, problems you're not able to solve, then you will not be motivated to do more of it, right? So whenever you are doing something and you find that it is difficult for you, you're not able to grasp immediately, right then you should go back to your teacher, ask loads of questions, get your doubts clarified. And I'm very sure that even your teachers at school will never stop you from asking questions if they are valid questions and you are trying to explore and understand the topic better. Third thing is that you should never try to compare too much with what your friends have got. So maybe in two exams or three exams, consecutive three exams, they have got better. All of a sudden what you feel is that I will not be able to do uh, whatever it is, okay, and it is very difficult, better is to leave it, like that. So that is not at all a good idea. So if somebody has got better grades does not mean you can't do it, right? He or she might have put in a lot of efforts, he may have organized himself better. So try to see what somebody is doing which is a good idea for you also to do, or you could also see what you are doing, what mistakes are you doing. Talk to your parents, talk to your teachers, and try to improve that. So if you do that, you will never feel motivated. So I want to summarize for all the students that every one of you is unique. You have very good capabilities. I have seen students who have absolutely great capabilities, but just because of this attitudinal issues, they are not able to perform well. So first thing is that please try to know why are you doing this. Second is that don't keep your doubts to yourself, please ask. There is no problem in asking, no question is a stupid question. And third is, do not be unhappy with somebody else's performance, try to improve your performance. Rather than trying to see he can do, she can do better, I am not good at it, forget it. Okay, so if you're very clear on these three things, you don't need any motivational lectures, or you don't need any kind of support. You will be 100% motivated all the time that you are working for your goal. Yes.
Yeah, ma'am. Moving on to the next question. Apart from academics, what other qualities or skills should children possess to enter some of the renowned colleges of our country?
Okay, so if you look at the colleges like engineering entrance or medical entrance, they typically focus on the exams that that they conduct. Like IIT has joint entrance exam, NEET is exam for medical entrance, and like other exams are there. But apart from these exams, there are exams like NDA, which is for entry into defense services. They have lot of other things that they check before they um, induct you into the army or defense, other defense services. So similarly, there is Indian Institute of Management, IIM Indore. They have a very nice program for students after 12th grade, because other exams, other courses for management are there after your graduation, but this particular exam is after your 12th board. So for that they have group discussions. Even for NDA there is a group discussions, and lot of word association tests and lot of other tests are there. So looking at these kind of things, we the student who is preparing for a specific test, he could look into what he should be or she should be very strong at, right? So in general, even if it is not required for IIT and JE or medical, important point is that you should be very good at communication. You should be good at problem solving, not just mugging up your stuff and getting good grades, but you should be able to problem solve things. You should have good conceptual understanding in whatever topics that you have studied. So these are three things. First is communication, then understanding the concepts, and these things, apart from your way of organizing yourself, disciplined study, etc. This will be really helpful to get you into different colleges in India and even abroad.
Yes, you are absolutely right, ma'am. How important is it for children to have a competitive spirit?
Yeah, so I want to relate it to the question of the motivation that we discussed, Anika. So it is absolutely great to have competitive spirit, but what does it mean? So what does it mean to have a competitive spirit is absolutely like this: that I want to perform better than myself. So this year, let's say you have got selected in NSO level 2 or IMO level 2. For this year, now in 6th, you should have a target that I will come maybe within 100 or within 10 in level 2, and like this improve against yourself. So I think in the competitive spirit, you should never think that he or she should get lesser. You should always think that I should get better. So that will always help you. So have your own target and you work against that target. That will certainly help you. And if you also think that somebody has done better, he's doing better, then if you make yourself feel that I cannot do that, then it is a bad competitive spirit. If you say, okay, he or she has done better than me, and I will see how or he or she does, and I will also try to see in what way I can improve, then it is a absolutely great competitive spirit. So you should go by that. Try to improve yourself rather than to feel bad that somebody has got better than you, because he or she must have done something different. Because you will not get lucky all the time, right? Once he got lucky, he get better marks. Second time also, third time, all the time this is not going to happen, right? So you should try to see independently how you can improve. That is the competitive spirit that every student should have, and it is very important. Otherwise you will never move ahead, right? You will say, okay, I'm happy whatever marks I'm getting. So that is not a good idea. If you are second in SOF level 2, you should now try that I should get level first rank in SOF level 2. So that should be the spirit. Yeah.
Now, ma'am, how can the concepts of math and science be made clear during the formative years of children?
Okay, so yeah, this is a area of great interest to me, and so we work on that. And what I think is that even at school or in houses, your homes, the parents and the teachers have to ignite or make you interested in these kind of things. So even at a very young age, you can go into your kitchen, try to see what are different kind of things are there, um, uh, which items have vitamin C. If C is there, what happens, how do they behave in terms of a lot of different features, colors. Just observe, just explore a lot of things. And same with math. So if you want to do something at home, try to think how many objects are there. Ask your somebody small, your brother or small younger ones, you can ask, count it and tell. So that brings some certain interest. And that kind of uh, real life problem solving should be there to develop interest and make their concepts clear. And apart from them, you should solve lot of problems of your age. So do lot of problems which are given for mental ability. The series, you can say, okay, I have first series which has 2, then 4, then 6, then 8. Obviously at your age you can say it will be 10, right? Because I'm adding 2. But for younger ones it may be difficult. He or she may be thinking. So these kind of questions should be asked by parents in between. Maybe after dinner you should decide that maybe 10 minutes only math time, or maybe 10 minutes only science time, when you are discussing at home with your parents or with your younger or elder sisters and brothers. These kind of questions, enjoying the science and math, and that will really build good and strong base of science and math in the very beginning years.
Definitely, ma'am. Apart from engineering, what other career options are open for science students?
So, Anika, I think this session will not suffice for that, because there are huge, huge, and very interesting opportunities that science has to offer, science and math has to offer. But I must say that apart from engineering, you could get into research in pure sciences. You can get into research into engineering sciences also. And so research is a very interesting area. Then there are areas like statistics, which are very, very good. So like we have IITs for engineering, we have ISERS, Indian Institute for Science Education and Research, ISER, which is for research. Similarly, we have Indian Statistical Institute, ISI. So all these things are there. And what we recommend, because we do have career counseling sessions for our students. So what we recommend is that you should try to have a cusp of 2 3 subjects while you are doing your studies. For example, you could try to do computer science and also study neurology, because there are a lot of researches happening where they are trying to see how computer can become as intelligent as human beings. So of course you know that computer can calculate faster and all, but the way we can understand, right, emotional intelligence and all, it doesn't have that kind of thing right now, right? So there are researches happening to develop that kind of cognitive skills into even in computers. So for that, I think you need to understand both. You need to know computer science, and also that you need to understand the neuroscience, right? So that kind of cusp will certainly be very useful in future, because most of other things may become automated and may not need so much of human interaction. So you can another thing that is interesting, that is you could do Sanskrit along with PhD in organic chemistry. So you know science, you know a language, because there are people required who would be able to work on our old literature. So ayurvedas and all that. So these kind of skills, things, if you do, you will really find it quite interesting, and you will get hooked to your work. So we recommend like that. And it's a completely different session that we could host and give very beautiful jobs, other career options in sciences fields. So I think for now I will just restrict it to these things, and then later if we want we could arrange another session. Yes, over to you, Anika.
Sure, ma'am, we will do that soon. Now, ma'am, do you think taking a year break after class 12th for the preparation of competitive exams is a wise decision?
You should not take it for granted that you must take a break and then only you can study. That is not required. There are students who while they are in 12th itself, they study continuously, and then they are able to get good grades in 12th, as well as they get through in the examinations that they have targeted for. So it is not necessary. But for some reason, if you are not able to make it to the college that you wanted to go, then there is absolutely no problem in taking a year's break. You must take, if you were not able to achieve something for whatever reason, that you couldn't do it, you didn't know how to do it, you did not get right teachers, or right you didn't understand the right approach, you didn't spend a lot of time on it, then there is no problem. Now that you have understood that you need to go there, then spending another year is absolutely no problem. Even family, teachers, and everyone should encourage, and there is absolutely no stigma in taking a break and doing the study for the college that you want to get admission in.
Now, ma'am, owing to the present scenario, what are the pros and cons of teaching kids online?
Sure. So I would only see the benefits, and I will certainly salute all the teachers who are taking efforts and teaching through online, because they were also not at all used to teaching that way, but they are putting in their best efforts to teach. I am sure that this may or may not be effective, so much effective as in person teaching, because we are human beings, we love to see each other, right? But because of this pandemic, we have not been able to see each other, we have not been able to see friends and teachers in person. But so looking at the positive point is that you are saving on your time to go to the school, and your teachers are still trying their best to teach you, so we should take the most positive point of it. And another thing, only thing that you have to take care of it is that your school maybe for 6 hours, 4 hours, or whatever it is. So these gadgets may have some impact on your eyes. Your eyes are tender, especially for smaller kids. Then take sufficient amount of breaks in between. Schools must be giving the break in between after the class, because it is not a good idea to completely look into digital media, because you may also be playing after your school hours. The only play that you might have is your mobile phones and all, so again you are connected to digital media. So what parents could do is that they should help the children to do something else as an entertainment. So when you were going to school, that time using mobile and all was okay for playing, but now you should you are having classes online or through digital media, then you should try to limit your time on mobiles. Do some other plays. You could have sudoku, you can play lot of other things, but it should be pen and paper or without digital media. Second thing is that you should do your eye exercise and all those things to take care of your health, because health is wealth. So those are the only things that we need to take care. Other than that, I don't see any issue, because all our teachers are trying their best to give best to their students.
Yes, ma'am, thank you. Now, in the end, what message would you like to give to our parents as well as students?
So I think for parents, I would like to give the message is that encourage your children to appear in different competitive exams. Help them to organize themselves, make timetable, make study plan, um, and help them to study. So after dinner, it could be 1 hour reading session. Everyone is reading, no one is watching TV. Something like that, that could be done at home. And second point is that when their child is doing a good job of putting in efforts, and if he or she doesn't get grades, don't compare with what others have got. So many a times parents, we as parents start panicking if our child doesn't get good marks but others have got. So don't do that, because from day one, if your child is doing going on a right track, putting in efforts, someday or the other will certainly help him, with all these studies will certainly help him to come out with flying colors. So that is important. And for children, the message that I want to give is that you need to be very disciplined, and uh, you should continuously work hard on your goals, have set high goals, work hard on it, and never feel demotivated at any point of time, and never keep your doubts to yourself, just get it clarified. So if you ask doubts, you are not considered fool. If you don't ask out and keep it to yourself, and later it builds a huge amount of problems for you, that is worse than asking a, even if it is a simple doubt, just ask for that. And in the end, I would say that arise, awake, and stop not till your goal is achieved. This is the message that I want to give to our students.
Ma'am, that was all informative. So that's all for today. Thank you, ma'am, for being with us. It was indeed an illuminating session for all of us. So for now, we are taking a leave from you. Stay safe until we meet next.
Sure, Anika. I just want to add one thing, that at my center, what we do is we try to ignite the interest of students. It could be giving them a lot of practical lab experiments, or maybe thought experiments. Some experiments you can't do in lab. So you just have to think, okay, if this is how it is, what should I do? So that is how I started this concept of my classes. And we try to ask them to learn how to problem solve. So it could be simple problem of you have to do five things, which way you should do, so how do you optimize, which one you do first, and all that. So problem solving, critical thinking, that is what we try our students to do, and try to ignite interest, pose lot of problems to them, and let them only come up with solutions. So we don't give them a cooked up solution, okay, this is the answer, just go. We ask them why this is the solution, why should they approach like this, why their approach was wrong, like that. So what I will recommend all of you is to think about lot of things at home. For example, you can see the food items that you have. For example, you have kesar, saffron. So which part of the plant it is? You have other things. You have shampoos at yeah, in your bathrooms. You have lot of chemicals. Read it, what does it contain. So that is what will ignite your interest in science and maths. And then you will certainly have an edge over other students or your friends if you do that way. So I would really like to thank Anika. You have conducted the session really well, and you have done a great job. And the questions that you had selected were also very very nice and holistic, I think. And a lot of doubts your friends might also have, which probably got covered. And feel free to connect with us. You can speak to your school, and they will send the doubts or questions to us, and we will be very happy to answer it. And thank you so much for inviting. I thank the school management also to invite me, and it was pleasure talking to all of you.
Thank you, ma'am, and everyone for being with us.